All right, if you're out there building a business, listen up. There is one single number that can literally make or break you. And the crazy thing is, it's so often overlooked or even worse, totally miscalculated. So today, we're going to demystify it. We're talking about customer acquisition cost, or COCA, and we're going to turn it from this confusing metric into a clear, simple roadmap to actually making money. And let's just kick things off with a dose of reality, right? This quote is it's so spot on. As entrepreneurs, as founders, we're kind of wired to be optimistic, you know? But that exact same optimism, it can become this massive blind spot when you look at the real, raw cost of just getting a customer to sign on the dotted line. So let's make this personal for a second. What's the real cost for you to win just one new customer? And I'm not talking about a ballpark guess. I mean the real, hard number. Answering that question, honestly, is probably the most important first step you can take to build a company that's actually built to last. Okay, so to get that answer, you need a tool. And that tool, my friends, is the customer acquisition cost, or COCA. And look, this is not just some boring accounting term. Think of it as your secret weapon, the metric that gives you total clarity and helps you see right through that blind spot we just talked about. So, what exactly is it? Well, at its core, the idea is actually super simple. It's the grand total, the whole shebang of everything you spend on sales and marketing, all boiled down to what it costs to win over one single new customer. Yep, it gets that specific. And getting the details right here is absolutely crucial. COCA is comprehensive. I mean, it is not just your ad spend. We're talking sales rep salaries, marketing consultants, your website, travel, trade shows, all of it. But what it excludes is just as important. You see, you don't count things like R&D or admin costs because those aren't directly part of the hunt for a new customer. All right, theory's great and all, but let's actually turn this into action. Let's get our hands dirty. How do you calculate this number for your own business? Well, good news, the process is way more straightforward than you probably think. Okay, at its simplest, it's really just 2 steps. Step 1, you add up every single dollar you spent on sales and marketing for a specific period of time, let's say a quarter or a whole year. Step 2, you take that grand total and you divide it by the number of new customers you won in that same period. Boom. That's your basic COCO. But if you want to get a little more precise, and you probably should, we can use this full formula. Now, I know it looks a little more complex, but trust me, it gives you a much sharper picture because it accounts for one really important detail, the cost of supporting the customers you already have. So let's break this down piece by piece. First up, you've got TMSE of T. That's just a fancy way of saying total marketing and sales expenses for a certain time period, T. That's the big number we just talked about. Every salary, every ad, all of it. Okay, next up is IBSE of T. That stands for Install Base Support Expense. Now, this is where it gets really smart. See, your team spends time and money keeping your current customers happy, right? Well, you subtract those costs because COCA is only, and I mean only, about getting new customers. This one little tweak makes your final number so much more accurate. And finally, we have NC of A. This is super simple. It's the number of new customers you acquired during that time. And the key word, again, is new. We are not counting repeat business from old customers. We're just talking about the brand new logos you brought into the fold. So check out how this actually plays out in the real world. In year 1, with just one customer, the COCA is, well, it's a staggering $394,000. Yikes. But look at the trend. Just look at the story these numbers are telling. As the company gets smarter and more efficient, that cost to get a new customer just plummets. It drops dramatically. That is the downward slope you want to see. Okay, knowing your COCA is awesome. It's powerful, but it's only half the story. Seriously, a high COCA isn't always a disaster, and a low one doesn't automatically mean you're winning. The real magic happens, the real meaning comes out when you compare it to another super important number. Think of it like a seesaw, right? On one side, you've got COCA, all the money you're spending to get a customer. And on the other side, that's lifetime value, or LTV. That's the total profit you expect to make from that customer over the entire time they're with you. The goal couldn't be simpler. You want that LTV side to be way, way higher than the COCA side. And this quote right here, it just perfectly nails the early stage struggle. Let's be real. At the beginning, you are almost certainly spending more to get a customer than they are worth to you at that moment. That means your business is technically losing money on every single new sale. The all-important question is, For how long can you sustain that? And here's what that looks like in a chart. In year one, your COA is way up there at almost 400 grand, and the LTV for that customer is 50,000. See the problem? This is what people call the cash burn phase. It's often necessary, but man, is it a dangerous part of the journey. But the goal, the whole point, is to get here. A few years later, a healthy, mature business has completely flipped the script. You've gotten efficient, your COCA is down to 100K, and your LTV is way up at 300K. Now we're talking. Now every new customer is a huge win for your bottom line. That right there is the tipping point. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you get from that scary first chart to that beautiful second one? How do you actively, intentionally drive down your customer acquisition cost? Well, let's dive into the action plan. So here are 5 super high-impact strategies. First up, automate your processes. Use tools to handle all that repetitive stuff. It saves a ton of time and money. Second, get better at converting. Even tiny tweaks to your pitch can lead to more customers for the exact same ad spend. Third, find cheaper leads. Don't just rely on expensive ads. Fourth, speed things up. Shorten that sales cycle because time really is money. And finally, and this is a big one, build your whole business model with COCA in mind right from day one. Each one of these is a powerful lever you can pull to change your business. But you know what? Above all of that, the number one most powerful, most organic way to absolutely slash your COCA is positive word of mouth. It's that simple. When your happy customers basically become your unpaid sales force, your acquisition costs just nosedive. They bring you the best leads, and they do it for free. And here's the key. You don't just sit back and hope for word of mouth to happen. You have to engineer it. How do you do that? Well, you stay hyper-focused on your target market so your reputation can really catch fire. You turn your sales reps into genuine experts so they close deals faster. And you serve your customers so incredibly well that they can't help but become your biggest advocates. That's how you create that amazing ripple effect. So, we've kind of gone on a whole journey here, haven't we? We started with that dangerous blind spot of just being too optimistic, and now we have a clear, calculated way to understand what it really takes to win a customer and, more importantly, build a profitable business. Because at the end of the day, understanding your COA isn't just some boring math exercise. It's about creating total transparency in your business. It's a spotlight that shows you what's working and what's not, and it gives you that clear roadmap to building a business that's sustainable, one that can actually last. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought, one question to really chew on. When you go to calculate this for your own business, are your numbers real? Or are they just the numbers you want them to be? Be brutally honest with yourself, because in the end, the real numbers are the only ones that can actually point you toward real success.